Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this walkthrough of ToB. So if you're going in ToB for the first time, this is the video you want to watch. I'm going to do a whole run of ToB in a 4 or 5 man team, and I'm basically going to talk over my experience, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and hold on. This is more like a reference video. I definitely recommend watching guides before you watch this, but I mean, the guides are like theory, and this is like applied theory. So you want to go through the theory first, and then come back to this. For starters, this is my setup. You're going to be using Void. I got all the 3 Void helmets with me. I'm basically going to have a magic switch, a range switch, and I'm going to have my whip for melee. I also have claws, hammer. Halley is extra. You don't need to bring that if you have claws. If you don't have claws, you can bring a DDS, and you don't need to bring the Halley. Again, it's extra. I use it for bloat. Also, you can, if you don't have a hammer, you can bring a BGS. Ideally, only one person on the team has a BGS. That's for defense reduction. Salve. And you want to have your pre-pots. So I just want to show you a bit my bank setup. So I got my Salve Amulet E there. And I'm going to grab 1, 2. And then I'm going to grab a range pot, another combat. So I got this nice little setup over here. I got a stamina there at the bottom. I'm going to grab my pre-pot, that. So I got my pre-pot over here. I got my restores there. And I'm pretty much good to go like this. You can bring soul runes if you need to, but I won't. Let's see. Just let my team know that I'm ready by putting an R in the chat. I'll do my best to answer all the questions without you having to ask them. But in any case, always feel free to ask me anything in the comments. Oh, I think we're going. So basically this is my pre-pot. You can pause if you want to analyze. It's anglerfish, heart, ranging dose, and a combat dose. I'm gonna bank the heart and fill up my inventory with brews. That's my quick fix. So now I have 6 brews, 3 restores. You don't need to bring 3 super combats. I do because I'm used to it. All right, so as you're walking in the raid, you want to make sure that you know what your roles are for this room. So I'm gonna say North 1, 3. I like to drop my Salve Amulet to make room for my switches. So you want to start with your Warhammer. And you want to drop 2 special attacks on Maiden with your Warhammer. So on Pray Mage and Piety. Make sure you're on Pound. And that's very unlucky. That's never happened to me before, but I just walked into someone else's blood right off the get-go. So then you want to get into your blowpipe and just blowpipe. You want to make sure you're walking around every now and then like this. This is called the blowpipe walk. You're basically stepping and blowpiping. Because she throws blood and you want to be ready for it. When these come out, you want to freeze them. So I'm doing 1 and 3. Therefore, you want to walk when she throws blood. She does sometimes throw blood to the person that's farthest away. She throws 3 blood splats instead of just 1. So you just want to be mindful of that. Alright, so my roll right now is 1 and 3. I want to do 1 as soon as possible. And I want to get 3 in the clump. So I don't want to freeze 3 too quickly, but I don't want to do it too late. You kind of get used to it. There's someone doing all of North anyways, so even if I mess up right now, I'm good. But just for the purpose of the video, I'm going to pretend like the team depended on me. So basically, again, when the tanker gets low HP, you want to jump in and help them. If I'm moving like this all the time like that, I'm definitely going to avoid these bloods. Right now, there aren't too many blood spawns, which is great. At 70%, 50%, and 30%, these spiders come out. You want to be ready to freeze them. So I'm ready to freeze North 1, because that's my roll. Alright, so I'm freezing North 1. And I'm going to freeze North 3. I want to freeze North 3 when it's clumped, so over here. Not too late, not too soon. And I want to not barrage too much, because I want to let the person heal. The person is tanking right there, so I want to let them heal on the clump as much as possible. Notice here I marked a tile. These tiles over here represent the maximum distance that my blowpipe can reach Maiden. While you're killing Maiden, you're going to have these little blood spawns that pop up, and what you want to do is just freeze them and knock them out. You don't have to get into your mage switch in order to freeze them. Okay, so I splashed on that. That's unfortunate. So while you're doing all this, you really want to make sure that, first of all, you go in and help tank at the end, because, I mean, in this case, everyone has high HP, but usually the tanker will be low HP at this point of the raid. You can always skip through over blood like this, for example. You can skip over it if you really have to. The reason why I'm walking like this is so that I can avoid any blood she throws out. That's kind of scary. If you don't move, you will get messed up. Okay, this is kind of very scary right now. All right, well, that was kind of scary on my part. But basically what you want to do is you want to avoid blood, and if you have specs at the end, you should probably drop them. So towards the end of the kill, you just want to freeze these guys, but you don't want to kill them because it's not really worth it. Just go ahead and get back on Maiden. I like to mark this tile over here because it is the maximum blowpipe range. If I step here, I'll get dragged in. And if I step here, I'll get dragged in. So these are just things you also want to be mindful of. Alright, so next room is Bloat. Over here you want to be in your melee gear, you want to be wearing your salve. If you don't have any room in your inventory, try to drop a brew when you get inside. However, I just like to eat an anglerfish. Now, you want to go in when Bloat is on the opposite side of the room. You don't want to go in when he's in this side of the room because then he'll just throw flies at you. So in this room, you want to play range. Preserve is usually what I do because I have a lot of prayer points in this room. I don't usually run out. And I'll get ready for Bloat to go down. When he starts flashing, that's when you can attack him. His little logo on his chest. So what I like to do here is 5 whip hits, and then my last hit is a Halley. And then I'll run behind the column so that I don't get hit from his stomp attack. And always make sure to move and change directions in time. I have him tagged in Runelight. I tagged him by typing his name in NPC indicators. So by doing that, I know exactly where he is and I can quickly react to his change in direction. Over here, I'm clicking on the floor very carefully. I'm making sure that I'm not clicking on any shadows. Someone might die here. That's unfortunate. That's a 2 down blow. It's a very quick one. Generally, you just want to be on the opposite side of the column at all times. And you want to make sure that when he's about to wake up, you're running towards the safe spot, which is behind the column. So now at this point, you can drop your salve. You don't really need it. Make sure you're not dropping your imbued salve. You just want to drop an enchanted one. Those are very easy to get. And I like to grab a shark here. Just because in the next room, I may need to combo eat if things go bad. When you see that the yellow lights blink on him, then you're good to go in. Like that. I don't like to use the Halley instantly. I like to use it at the end because it has a very long delay, and I rather waste that time when I'm not even next to Bloat. So over here, I like to tell everyone what I'm doing. I'm going to melee, and I'm going to try to camp the east side. Usually we have 2 meleeers, 2 majors, and 1 ranger. So we have a melee west, I got melee east, and I'm just going to sit here for a bit and take care of these meleeers. It's worth praying, I believe. Pray piety if you can. These rotations are all the same. The Nylocas come down the ramps in the same order every single round. So you can get really good at learning when comes what. So when you do roll a lot, you'll get to know exactly when they're coming. There are 2 kinds of Nylocas. You want to be focusing mostly the ones that are aggro, which means the ones that go in the middle and kind of attack the whole team. If there are no meleeers around, then you can definitely help out with range. For example, I just killed a ranger there, and I can freeze these majors even if I don't have my mage gear on. That's okay. You can kill these meleeers over here as well. So I killed this one because I knew he was an aggro, and I killed that one second because I know he's just one that goes to the pillars. But that just comes with experience. Meleeers are coming now, so I'm gonna go back to my role here and knock out some meleeers. So there are two kinds of Nylos that appear in this room. Again, like I said, the ones that go to the columns directly, and there are some that basically go to the middle. Like this guy over here, I should have taken care of him already. He goes to the middle and he attacks the team, and that does hurt a lot. So best thing I can do is knock him out and knock him out as well. And it's always the same rotation in every Nylo room, basically. So if you memorize the rotations and the order that they come down the slides, I like to call these things slides, I don't know why, then you'll get really good at this room because you'll be able to predict which ones damage the team. This is the mage wave. A lot of magers come in here, so I'm going to pray mage. But if you ever notice a specific style attacking you, you can always pray against it. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that. I'll just pray mage and forget about it. At this point, they start to explode. The reason why they do that is because there are too many in the room, or because they've been alive for so long. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but they do explode. So you want to stay away from the pillars as much as you can. So if you attack, try to flinch back. You know what I mean? Like, attack it and then click back here so that you don't stay next to the pillar for too long. You want to minimize the chance of yourself getting exploded on. Obviously, don't get smited like I did. So all these pillars were pretty good as far as HP goes. Nothing here is pretty close to dying, which is pretty good. I mean, I have a very strong team right now. They're carrying me pretty hard. But eventually, if there are pillars that are going down, okay, definitely don't do that. If pillars are going down, call it, let your teammates know so they can heal up. Man, I'm talking a lot. So the first thing here is melee. I like to just dump my claw specs. So when he changes after 2 attacks, the boss will change colors. And you want to just change your prayers first before you change your gear. You don't need to have the fastest switches, you just have to be able to react to what's going on. Another thing to note is that when you attack this boss, your character will stop attacking when it changes colors, so you don't have to worry about clicking off. The game does it for you. When you get good at it, you can start changing your gear before he changes colors, so you can kind of anticipate what's going to happen. But always be ready to change your prayer when he changes colors. Just something quick that I forgot to mention. When the aggros come in, they kind of pause when they enter the room, and then they start walking around and aggroing you. When they're pausing on that tick, if you attack them, your action gets cancelled and you don't do anything. So just spam click them. Also, the Nylos that change color, they change color consistently, so it's the same kind of order or the same pattern every time. So you can kind of get used to what they're going to change into when you get to know it better. So in this room, you want to do 1 spec at the beginning of each phase. So after the maze, I'm going to spec again. I basically missed, so I let my team know that I missed. That's a black orb. It's ranged, so I need to pray range. I'm going to go back to mage now. Okay, I went back to mage and a range came at me, so it took down my prayers. My prayers are disabled and I'm very vulnerable. You can also choose to flick melee whenever he does his animation of attacking. Just make sure you get your mage prayer up right before. When you're chosen for the maze, very simple. Click on the first tile. When you get there, go to the second row. If there's no left and right, just go to the third row, sorry, and then wait there for your team bear. Now I'm assuming my team is there, so I'm going to basically do the maze. Now I gotta go very quickly here, and I'm just going in straight lines. just to keep it simple. The reason why I have to go quickly is because there's no left and right. So that tornado is hitting them right away. It's going to be right behind them. It's very simple. Just make sure you follow the maze and don't do any mistakes. Nothing too crazy, and then your team will love you. Okay, that was a bit complicated there. There was a range attack that came at me. Drop your hammer spec. I missed, as usual. So if you have a T-bow here, definitely use a T-bow. If you have a scythe, definitely use your scythe. But it's nice to be in melee distance because it reduces the amount of big balls that come out, the big red ones. So red orbs are mage, black orbs are range. You can also protect melee when there's no orbs coming at you to kind of protect yourself from his melee attacks. So now somebody's in the maze. All you have to do is click on the red squares. Now this is going to be an advanced raid, so everyone here is doing diagonals. Except for this person who's very lost. But kind of just, okay, now I'm very lost. If you get confused like that, just look at where people are walking. The best thing you can do here is kind of disperse yourselves equally. So in a 5-man, you want to make like a pentagon. And when you see the big ball come out, you need to come to the middle here. And the person getting the ball will stand at the front square, and everyone will stand around that person in order to share the damage that the big ball causes or does to everyone. Oh, recombat pod, of course. Once you cross the 3rd row, that's when the tornado spawns. That's why everyone waits until everyone gets to the 3rd row before they start going. You just need to click on the red tiles. That's all you gotta do. Missed my spec again. That's a red orb coming at me, so I don't have to change my prayer. You could also flick melee, in case he melees you. But I don't recommend doing it if you're high HP. You can just kind of let it be. Alright, so now you want to make sure you're wearing offhand and on-hand, so you can clear up all the inventory space. Drop any partial doses that you don't need. I don't even use my ranging potion. That's a very bad on my part. But basically what I'll do is I'll buy, let's say 2 restores, bunch of brews, and then go through. Typically if you have extra points, you can drop some brews. Anyone who's behind can just pick them up. Once everyone is in, then you can cross this door. You don't want to kick anyone while they're still buying supplies, because that's a big feels bad, man. So basically what you want to do here is kind of just step onto these exhumes. It's kind of a long part of the fight, really boring, but basically whoever gets there first kind of just stays there and everyone else kind of finds something else to do. So these last for 16 game ticks. You kind of get used to it over time. You can kind of tell when it's going to disappear like that. And you just want to basically cover them because it's healing him and it gives him, I think, defense levels as well. So the better you are at this part, the less lengthy the fight will be. Now, you can ignore these tiles, just ignore these ones. But these this center octagon type thing you got going on here is very important for the last part of the fight, as well as the beginning. So at the beginning of the fight, you just want to drop 2 hammer specs, and then you want to come to your corner and just blowpipe him. It's very important that you drop your blowpipe. It's very important that you drop your hammer specs on these tiles right here, or these ones over there, or these ones over here. Not the purple ones and not the ones in between the purple ones. You want to be sure to drop your blowpipe specs on these tiles. Not your bloat, but sorry, your hammer specs. So 2 hammer specs, come back here, drop an item if you haven't already. Make sure you have room to equip your... So whenever Xarpus looks at you, move 2 tiles. That's what I just did there. So Xarpus is looking at this individual over here, this individual moves there, that individual moves 2 squares, this individual moves 2 squares, and it's my turn to move 2 squares. It's very simple. So the reason why this works so well is that every time Xarpus turns his head, wherever you're standing, that square is scanned and targeted, either by Xarpus directly or by a bouncing splat. So when Xarpus throws a splat, hits the ground, then it kind of splits into 2 splats and that goes to other people. That's when the location that you're standing on is scanned. So if you're moving around unnecessarily, like sporadically, whatever, you're just randomly running around, you're gonna splat the whole area way faster. That's why you just need to move once. When he looks at you, just move 2 tiles in a new area, kind of, and you'll be fine. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll drop a range pot because I don't need that anymore. I'll take off my boots. Notice that when you take off your boots, your character is not interrupted in his action, so I can keep attacking. So whenever Xarpus looks at me, I just have to move 2 tiles. We won't need that ranging potion. If you have a T-bow, you can bring the ranging pot into Verzik if you have room, and you can drink it during web phase, and you can T-bow Verzik during the web phase. See how everyone is kind of nicely spaced out? It kind of seems like everyone's avoiding me right now, which is kind of worrying. Maybe I smell bad, I don't know. But the basic idea is that when Xarpus targets you, that splat bounces and goes to 2 other people. So that's the reason why you don't want to be too close to anyone. All right, it's screeched. So I'm going to basically click on the floor here. And now I'm going to show you how to do it with a whip. Okay, so attack Xarpus and then wait for it to turn. All right, turn, so I can attack it once. I can attack it twice. Now I'm going to go to where it's looking, and I'm going to attack it twice from here. Now, it's going to look somewhere else, so I can go back over here where it's already looking, and I can attack it twice. Now I'm going to get ready to go to the side that it's already looking at, because I know it's not going to look there twice. And that's how we have these. So when you get to Verzik, if you're a learner, you may want to drop and keep 3 or 4 brews on you and keep 2 or 3 restores on you. The reason why you do this is simply because if you go down early because of an accident, for example, you want to make sure that the people helping you learn will at least be able to complete the raid. So what you want to do is pray mage at all times during phase 1 and look at the orb order. People using the staff are going to use their special attacks and they're going to drop it in orb order. People are going to use it afterwards. If you have a scythe, do 3 attacks. If you have a whip, do 4 attacks. Run behind the pillar. And then you can stay behind here if you're not comfortable doing this, but if you have a whip, you can easily get two hits off and then come back behind the safe spot. So I'm the 4th person, therefore that's my turn right there. I'm going to drop 2 specs. I'm late, so I'm just going to keep it, unfortunately. Now the pillar is going down, so you want to move to the next pillar. Typically, this is the formation that people do. They do 1, 1, 2, 2. So this is 1, this is the other one, that's 2, and that's 2. You want to make sure that you're behind the pillar on this safe spot. I didn't count, so I just got 1 hit there, but I want to be safe. I don't want to take unnecessary damage. So I'm just coming behind the square over here. And you don't want to left click if there's staff on the floor. Okay, move away from the pillar because she's dead already because this team is too OP. So again, you don't want to drop your potions too close to the pillars. You kind of want to space out. I just love to drop mine here. But it's up to you. You know, you want to leave something behind in case you do go down. They have the supplies to make it through. So I'm 4th order on the orb. So here's how I can keep track of what's going on. The first person has it. They're going to drop it to the second person. The third person is going to pick it up now. Third person has it, and I'm next. It's my turn now. I'll come here, I'll pick it up. You don't have to get into your mage gear. The staff doesn't care what you're wearing. It still does lots of damage. You can do 2 hits, 3 hits if you're very comfortable. Drop it, and you can stay behind the pillar as well if you're not comfortable. But I like to do 2 whip hits because I have a whip and it's the least I can do. And I don't know if you noticed, but that pillar went down. If I was next to her, or next to that pillar, I'd be dead. But basically the idea is when she opens up her legs and she claps, you can click on her. Get your 2 hits in, run back. I think it's my turn now, I'm not sure. Well, it's dead now, so I'm gonna move away from the pillar. I'll drop the staff, and basically that's it. I'm gonna stand up here. You probably want to be on the sides, but that's okay. Pray range, pray piety, and just walk around. Like this, just walk around and find your time. When you see her hop up, click on her, like that. Run away. Now I want to venom this thing. Okay, just walk around. Make sure you're basically just not stepping into the bombs, okay? Just walk around if you're nervous. Just walk. Because if you stand still, you're going to get hit by the bomb. So when you see her, flinch. When you see her move up, flinch like that. It's very simple. When you see her go up, click on her. And then click back on a different tile. It's that simple. It's called flinching. You should already be very familiar with this. It's easy when you know what you're doing, but if you watch this enough times, you'll know what to do. She moves, click on her, flinch. She moves, click on her, flinch. Click and click back. Click and click back. Click and click back. Don't forget to super combat. It's very important, especially with a whip. You want to be doing damage. So now, when she spawns crabs, you can help freeze, like that. Just walk far and freeze, so that you make sure that you're not going into anyone else's, you're not walking into a bomb or something. Now, at this point, 35%, pray mage. And just, same idea. Do not get smited like me, that's very bad. Very simple. She does the same jumping animation. When she jumps, click on her and move back. After a few seconds, they spawn again. Off her, because if you attack her now, you heal her. So if you don't know when to time it, just walk around, wait for her to jump, and then attack her and flinch back. It's very simple. You just gotta be patient before you jump in. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure you know where you are in the cycle. And wait for her to jump, and then get ready to click on her when she jumps. And you're good. Alright, so at this point, 1%, you don't need to attack the red things. Just kind of brew up. And get ready for the next phase. I'll pray range, piety, preserve if you really wanted to. The beginning of the fight, you don't know how to time it, so just walk around. Okay, I'm going to freeze that. Okay, I'm going to keep walking. The important is that you're walking. That's the most important part. I froze that. Keep walking again. There are a lot of bombs right here. You just want to be away from them. And there we go. So now we basically found our spot. She jumps, click on her. I like to click on her shadow. We're just in the lower. All right. So basically, when I see that she goes up and down, that's when I'll click on her. Also, alternatively, you can have your game sounds on. But when you hear that ring, click on her. So that little ding in the background, kind of like a screech from the whatever she's using to carry herself. Definitely do not go underneath Verzik. I don't know how many times I have to say that. You do not want to go underneath Verzik. There's nothing interesting to see there, I promise. If you get messed up like this and you don't know where you are, just walk around and wait for her to jump and then attack her and flinch. And then get back in the cycle. It's that simple. So someone in this phase is going to be the tank. The tank is me. So what you do is you do one hit, walk under. Let it hit you. One hit, walk under. Let it hit you. One hit, walk under. Just be very calm with your clicks. You don't want to examine Verzik. That's very bad. You can also click across from Verzik. That's blue, so I want to pray mage. Just walk under. Just walk under. That's all you gotta do. At this part, I'm gonna let them do their thing. I'm gonna come out here and get my mage gear. Just because, in case someone gets stuck, I can help them out. Like this. This person got stuck. So now I can help them out. Anyone else stuck? No one else is stuck? Okay. I'm gonna walk under here. I'm gonna get my melee gear. I'm gonna brew up just in case. Walk under. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just walk under. When you get comfortable at it, you can do like 1, 2 hits, then you can walk under. And stuff like that. Now, over here, everyone gets 1 portal. You don't want to be 2 on the same portal. A super combat pot. I'm gonna attack her. I'm gonna walk under and wait for her to attack me, and then I'll attack her again. It's a 1-to-1, very simple if you're tanking. Pray mage if you see blue. If not, just keep your range up. So at this part, okay, this is very okay. This is okay. So this part, you just want to run, right? She doesn't attack. Okay, so running diagonally is the best thing to do. If you have to, run through her. I just got the team melee. That's not good. We're gonna brew up here and restore. Hopefully I'm tanking again. I am tanking again. Great. All right, walk underneath Verzik. She attacks. It's not a mage attack. It's a range attack. So I'm gonna pray range. Walk underneath her. It's very simple. I'm just doing 1 hit. She does a hit. I do a hit. She does a hit. I do a hit. I'm gonna go underneath her and I'm gonna try to help freeze these guys. There's one right there. I'm gonna run away from it. I ran away from it. It attacked me. I attacked it. I walk underneath it. Very simple. Nothing complicated going on. It's not scary. You just have to be very good with your clicks. Just be very confident with what you're doing. So now what it's doing, it's gonna go into web phase. I am going to get mage gear out, or if you have a ToB, go ahead and do that. If anyone gets stuck here, I can just help. And I can barrage the webs. Make sure that you're running around and you don't get... Alright, so attack Verzik, walk under. Again, make sure you don't get hit by those webs. Make sure you walk under Verzik far enough, because if you walk too close, she can always come out and attack you with melee. Alright, so you saw what I did there. I panicked. All I had to do was click across to make sure my character walks underneath Verzik. So here I am running diagonally. I am avoiding my tornado. And I'm avoiding any... I can use the mini-map like that. Okay, that's not good. I'm dead. I had my chat box closed. I didn't know it was coming at me. Always have your chat box open to see that the projectile is coming at you. Okay, so basically what you want to do is run diagonally or in a straight line if you're far away from the purple. And then you kind of want to circle around the purple. As far as you and Verzik, you want to have a 1-to-1 attack ratio with Verzik. So when Verzik attacks you, you attack it, and then you get out of its melee distance. Okay, so I attack it, I move out of its melee distance. All right, let's get into it here. So I attack it, move out of its melee distance by running through. That's totally okay, as long as you're not in the melee distance when it's trying to attack you. Again, running through is totally fine here. All right, so now I have the tornado. I'm gonna go down, left, and then through Verzik. I just dodged the tornado, and now I'm trying to worry about this crab. So, not the best, like, you kind of have to wing it over here, but as long as I'm not in melee distance, when Verzik is gonna do melee, then we're good. So the rest of it is probably not worth showing. You can already imagine what happens. I mean, not gonna do much with the whip, but hopefully your team doesn't put you in this situation. If it does, I'm not gonna lie, it is fun to go through this because it's an experience for you to learn, to improve, to try new things. And it's like, for example, over here, I click on Verzik one tick too early. I came out in melee distance. It slapped me for a 33. And basically, I'm brewing more than I can restore. And I'm taking more damage than I can produce. So there's absolutely no way that I'm gonna clutch this one for the team. But, you know, in times of need, you can eat this yellow thing, by the way. So, you only learn to do this when you get put in these kind of situations. So go out there, have fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you're probably really passionate about learning ToB. And I wish you the best of luck. Again, my PMs are open in game. Leave a comment if you have any questions. And I'll see you guys next video. Thank you.